Hi everybody, we're going to get started with July Club Q. Got some super fun, bright, summery colors in this one. The Powder Puff chalking inks that we suggested are Harvest Moon, Mulled Wine, and Baja Blue. But as you can see, almost any color would go with this. Any of the yellows, oranges, maybe Mango Mai Tai, Summer Days. One of my favorite yellows that is from a long time ago, it's called Chunky Monkey. Anyway, there's lots of colors that could go with this. So I have all my die cuts punched out, and I just have them kind of laying in piles of by color so I can grab them as I need. This one actually has lots of little die cuts. We are going to get started with the cutting diagram first, and then we'll move on to doing page 1. There's a little diagram on the back that kind of helps you get that set up. But we will do all the cutting. So grab your trimmer. And the first one we will do, okay, in between the last two pages, when you pull it out of your packet, there is a cutting diagram like this. It was stuck between the last two pages here. Let me get my glue. And we will start with the big blue paper. So if you want to grab your kind of florally blue, it has this on the other side. We're going to cut the 4x12 strip first. So put it in any direction and cut it at 4 inches. And as always, if I'm going too fast, just hit pause, get caught up, so you can kind of go at your own pace. Okay, and then next I'm going to do another 4-inch all the way across. And then I'm going to turn that one and cut it at 8 so that you have a 4x8. This piece is just left over. You can move that out of your way. So you have a 4x12, a 4x8, and the last one we're going to cut at 8, but at the end of it we're going to trim that little square down. So we'll go cut this one at 8. So you have another 4x8. And then this one we're going to cut down to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So 3 1/4, this is just extra. We'll turn it by 3 1/4. I always let you know what is extra because a lot of times we use these little scraps on something, but this one is just left over. You can get rid of that. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then we'll move on to the black piece. And we're going to start with, it's already at 5 1/4 this way. So we're going to turn it this way and do 6 3/4. So we have 6 3/4 by 5 1/2. And we'll move this one in and do 5 1/4. Or I'm sorry, 3 1/4. It's already at 5 1/4, so we'll do 3 1/4 like that. So 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I believe this is just left over. Now we'll do the orange. I'm going to cut the 4x6 off. So this is 6 inches this way. We're going to turn it this way and do 4. So 4x6. Move it in just a little bit, and we're going to do 3/4 by 6. So we'll put this in at 3/4. And with these, I like to put that in there and then I push up instead of pulling down, because if you push up, it makes it so your paper pushes against this and it doesn't move. If you pull down, it has room to move and you don't have anything to hang on to right there. So you have your little 3/4 inch piece. And then this leftover is a 6 by 7 1/4. So this should be 7 1/4 by 6. And the last piece is the white, and this one we actually need to do the 3 by 3s first and get those out of the way. So it's 6 inches this way. We're going to trim it at 3 inches. And then I'm taking that piece and turning it at 3 inches again so that it makes it 2 3 by 3s. Once you have that, we are going to turn this way and cut a 1 by 6. I'm just going to trim that 1 inch piece all the way off. And then we need by 6, so we'll turn that. This is just leftover. So you have a 1 by 6 piece. If I'm going too fast, hit pause for a minute, get caught up. And then these go in and get cut at 3. So it'll be 3 by 5s. Move it down one more, and at 3. So then you end up with 3 3 by 5s. Okay? And I believe that's all the cutting that we have in this one. Remove this out of the way. And what we're going to focus on first is this page 1, and we kind of get it set up with the bigger pieces to make the background. So if you want to grab your instruction sheet, and I'll show you the pieces that we're going to grab first. So you have your blue, and really you can use either side of this, so you choose. We used this one without the flowers, and I'm just going to kind of lay this out. This is at an angle, and it needs to go about 1/4 inch from the right side of the page. And from the picture here, I need to move it up just a little bit here. I think it's about 1/4 inch from the top and the right side. And then to get the angle correct, you want this corner to almost touch this yellow strip here. So your background papers, you want to make sure that it is turned this way. So at the top is the aqua strip, at the bottom is the yellow strip with flowers. In this piece, you have a black strip to go around the blue circle, and really you can use either side. If you like that showing, you could do that. But I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here and just go ahead and get this. The Barely Art glue is perfect for this kind of layout because we have lots of little pieces in this layout. So it makes it really easy to just put a few dots of adhesive on there. Oops. On some of these littler pieces. And I'm not going to glue that back part down yet, just until I get everything in place. There is a 4x12 floral piece, and that's going to go, actually I'll put it right underneath here. And that goes down so that it touches the aqua strip here. The next piece is this black circle, and that is going to go about an inch from the right side of the page and across there. And it goes almost to, actually it goes to the bottom part of that aqua strip across there. And then we have a yellow half circle that is going to go right next to that, just overlapping the black and just below the aqua, right into the yellow strip here. So once you have those in place, you can glue those down. And actually, I'm just gonna pull this up just a little bit and put a few dots to glue that down on my sample. Okay, so the page looks kind of funny right now, but it starts layering up really nice after you have that background. And once you have that, let's go ahead and get our photo mats lined up here. You have one white that came out of your die cut, one white piece. You had 3x5s that were cut out of, that you cut, but then there was one bigger one that came out of a die cut. And we are going to line that up with the orange piece that you cut. And as we go, chalk these up however you would like. I think I'm actually going to chalk, let's see what orange I have here. I have pumpkin pie, which I really love this orange. But I'm going to go ahead and chalk the edges of the white. And if you don't want to add this much color, you can always just chalk the edges of the darker colors if you want to. But I'm just going to add a little extra to the white. And it can be a little bit messy. Photos are actually going to cover most of this up, but it just kind of gives it an extra brightness. Put a little adhesive on there. And I'm just going to kind of lay these out how it looks in the instructions, but you want to remember to not glue things down over top of the photo mats when you layer them up, because you want to be able to put pictures in them later. Okay, out of your die cut, you have a square that has a triangle that came out of the middle of it. That square is actually being used. This is why we say don't throw things away, because it's going to be used for a little photo mat there. And let's see, I think I'm going to do a little blue on this one. This is Caribbean blue. you cut a, let's see, where did it go? You cut a blue square, a smaller blue square. Oh, here it is. And again, you can use either side. I think I'm going to use a yellow on this one. Oh, my yellow is looking really bad. Summer Days. I have different colors mixed into my yellow because I had used it with so many colors. Which is one tip. If you're ever mixing colors, you want to use the lighter one first. I used this after a green. But honestly, it doesn't matter on this one because even that greenish color matches because there's so many colors in this kit. And the last one is a black photo mat. Either side will work. And then you have your 3 by, oh shoot, did I cut that at the wrong? I may have cut that. I'm going to trim, it won't matter because I'm going to trim just 1/4 of an inch off the end there. I may have cut that at the wrong, if I directed you to cut it at the wrong dimensions, I'm sorry. But it's totally fixable. Just trim. I'm trimming just a little less than 1/4 of an inch off of that black one. And then it fits perfectly. So that will work. I have another, this is, I think Peaches and Cream. Oh no, this is Sunset, I believe. Different orange. Tuck that right in there. Okay, and then from here, it's layering your arrows and your words. So the first big arrow at the top is the largest rounded white arrow. And it's the outside piece. Make sure I have that correct. Yeah. So that gets glued down, and then your dotted piece goes right in the center of that. Now, if you don't have photos in here, you're not going to want to glue this end down right there. So if you just leave that open, you can still slide a picture onto your photo mat. I'm going to put a little adhesive on both of these, but not right on the arrow so that I can slide a picture in later and move that photo mat around if I want to. Okay. You're good. And you can move this around however you want so that it fits what you want to do. I'm going to line up the, oh, I got green on there. I'm going to turn that around so you can't even see it. The word vibes, I'm going to start with the yellow and kind of line those out how I want them. I'm going to overlap that actually just a little bit. Get these a little closer together. Have them turn down the circle a little bit. And then your only goes right around the edge. And I'm just laying these out, but you can pause, put a little glue on there, get them layered up how you want them. I just like to lay things out before I glue anything down. Okay, and then we have next on the yellow is this outside piece. You can go ahead and glue those down because you know that those are going to go right in the center of each letter. This is a perfect layout for today. We live in Washington State, and today is supposed to be the hottest day of the year. Well, one of the few that we have. It is going to be 90-some degrees here today. We hardly know how to function when that happens. So with your B, you want to remember that you need to keep these inside pieces for when you put, actually I'm going to grab the B right now in the red so you can see what I mean. When you glue this in, you want these little white pieces to go right in the center there. So I would much rather be in a pool today with our hot weather. But we already had plans, which I'm actually really excited about. My son and I are going to go to a Mariners game today. Hopefully beat the Reds. I don't know if there's any Reds fans out there that are watching, but we won yesterday, hoping to do it again today. But we'll be sitting out in the hot sun baking in a game today. My kids and I have a goal to hit all 30 baseball stadiums in our lifetime. I think together, I think we're all at 7. I went to a few before I had kids, but we're starting over with all the boys. I got 3 boys. And this is a little easier if you glue the if you glue the outside white part down first, and then these fit right in. I'm just kind of lining this up for my sample there. Okay, so we are actually really close to being done with this first page. There is an arrow, and I believe it's the outside piece that you use on this one. And then a blue arrow that goes on the inside. Just like that. And then you have another white arrow. The outside piece goes right around here. And you have an orange piece that goes on the inside of it. And page 1 is done. Oh no, I lied. Your little banner goes across the bottom here. And then you have triangles. And you can put these in any order you would like to. But you have little triangles that go on the banner. I think I may have lost a couple of mine. I may have to cut some out of a scrap. So I'm gonna actually take one of these and I will cut it out of this scrap piece of paper. Line it up here. And scissors. And just cut one. Just make sure you're actually using a scrap and not something that we'll use on the second page. I'll cut another one. Out of whatever color you would like, out of your scraps. And now we are done with page 1. Isn't that a fun page? Lots of color. Hope you have some fun summary pictures to put in there. Okay, on page 2, we're going to start layering that one up. And let's see. Your yellow pieces. Actually, you know what? I think I missed a cut here. Okay, so I do have a couple more cuts that I did not realize. So you have a strip of paper, it's yellow on one side and a stripe on the other. We want to cut that at 6 inches. So you have a 2 by 6 inch piece. You have two 2 by 6s, just like that. So at the beginning of our directions, which I did not go exactly like this, I was trying to make it easy for the video, but if you're ever doing the directions on your own, there's always the cutting diagrams first. So I missed that first one, but doesn't matter, we're going to go back and do it. And then we also, there is this 3 by 10 piece that we are going to cut into, let's see, no, that's 6 by 10, we're going to cut it into 3 by 10. So let's just put it into at 3 inches. And these two, the reason it is further down in the instructions to cut them, because we also need to do another step with these. So these we're going to put into like a little banner piece, and what I'm going to do is touch the corners together. You don't necessarily need to crease it all the way, but we are going to turn this into a little V banner. So where the corners touch, that's where you want to start, and you cut up and all the way through, and then that makes a perfect little banner piece there. So we're going to do that with the other one also. So just fold the two corners together. You don't have to crease it all the way. And then from that corner where they're touching, you just trim up. It makes the perfect little V. Okay? So you have two little banner pieces. And then now, I think I am done with the cutting. I'm going to move this out of the way and we'll start layering that second page. So I'm just going to get things out there, and then you can go back through and glue down if you want to. Let me make sure this is all in the video. There we go. Okay, so the two banner pieces that you just cut, those are going right in the middle of your page. We're going to start, the yellow is going to go about an inch, a little over an inch down from the top. These don't have to be exactly where I put them. They're mostly going to be covered up anyway with photos. So we're going to just kind of work in abouts here. And then we have a, I think this is a 4 by 8. Is that right? We're going to lay that just over top of that. And then we have the other 4x8, and this is going to go just to the right of that. And actually, I might tuck that under just a little bit. Move that up a little. So really, most of this is going to be covered up. It's just to add some extra patterns and flair to the background. Our two little 2-inch pieces. Chalk things up if you want to. We're going to add a little yellow and then another stripe here. Your ribbon, this one we need to cut in half. And those go in the top of these 2 tags out of your die cut. And this this type of ribbon, you don't have to tie like a double knot. You just put it through one time and pull it tight. And then trim to whatever length that you want. And these get tucked in just for a little extra decoration at the top there. These are good for if you want to write a date or, you know, just a tiny little bit of journaling or something. This is a good spot for it. Okay, so I know it looks a little bit messy, but your photos will go right over top of this. So on the right side over here, we have a red dot strip, a white strip, and an orange strip. Let me see if I can find my orange strip. Oh, there it is. It's orange on this side and stripe on this side. So we're just going to lay these out, overlapping just a little bit. Add some color there. And then this is where your photos go right on top. So we have our big orange piece. There is a black piece that goes right on top of it. And white 3x5s that go right on top there. And chalk those up any color. Your arrows on this side will go like this. And it is actually the inside of the other pieces that go right on top here. Oh, I found one of my little banner pieces as I was cleaning up here. Square. This goes right on there, on top of the white piece. And you are done with the Good Vibes Only kit. I hope you have some fabulous summer memories that would work well in these pages. Thank you so much for being a Club Q member, and we will see you next time.